it is a very opportune moment to talk to all of you. And the whole TN Global Startup Summit, many thanks to the organizers, StartupTN team, the state government, and the industry bodies that has brought this together. It is not a small event. It is like, as the name suggests, it is truly a global event. And I'm happy that Tamil Nadu is looking at a global outreach because we had the whole global phenomenon working for us way back. I'll just take, like, I come from a banking background, but I'll just take a moment to go back in history and mention about, what is Madras or Tamil Nadu. What does it mean to the growth of India, right? Back in the colonial days, we had only four major banks: Bank of Bombay, the Central Bank, Bank of Bengal, and Bank of Madras. The whole of South India was actually congregated into the Bank of Madras, right? So, in a sense, Chennai or the whole Tamil Nadu ecosystem has a lot of things in the right balance. If you talk to anybody outside of India, ask them about what is the tech capital of India, they'll say Bangalore. And what is the financial capital? Of course, everybody will say Mumbai. But, it is Chennai and Tamil Nadu that actually is the right balance between technology and finance, right? We have tons and tons of chartered accountants, pretty strong bureaucrats, and a great pool of talent that is available that has the right mix between technology and finance, right? M2P, what we do, I'll just cover it in a quick moment. We are a banking infrastructure company. When I say infrastructure, all of you would be using digital payments, which is either using Google Pay, Phone Pay, or any app that you like. And there is a transaction that is happening when you open the app and scan a QR code and make the payment. The whole orchestration that goes behind it is what infrastructure means. So we power that, not just UPI, across cards, bank accounts, like core banking system, core lending system, so on and so forth. So we are more like the Android for the banking world. And we also power, as our company's name suggests, we are a fintech company. We power a lot of fintechs using our platform by adopting or using the Android layer that we have deployed in banks to go out and make fintechs come plug and play with us to launch several products. There are several brands that I can talk to you about. We are not a brand per se. We consciously decided not to go for a branding exercise, so we are not known by many people. But there are several brands that are in Tamil Nadu that have done really well. Pay, I'm sure like many of you would have seen Pay QR codes and stuff. So the whole fintech journey started almost 15, 16 years ago. It was a very unceremonious, advent of having a company called National Payments Corporation of India formed. This was almost 16, 17 years ago. When NPCI came into being, what we did was, in 2010, we launched something called as Immediate Payment System, which is IMPS. I'm sure all of you would have sent money using IMPS to your friends, family, or somebody who you owe money to. So this was back in 2010, right? And that started a whole lot of chain reaction where we started thinking like, can immediate money transfer become the fulcrum of our digital payment, dream? So that's when 3 or 4 different aspects came into, it formed more like a trinity, where the government, across all state governments plus the central government, wanted to make India go digital. And then, thanks to demonetization and other interventions that happened, we had a moment where we had to forget cash and start using digital payments. And 3 things happened in 2016 which actually helped go towards adopting digital payments in a full-fledged manner. One was the advent of Jio launching. When Jio launched, they made internet penetration, they democratized the whole internet adoption in India. We were all thinking that we will go connect every household using landlines and broadband, but actually we leapfrogged and move to a mobile-first, good quality internet available across the country in every village out there. That enabled a target addressable market for innovators to kind of address to, right? So think of this. India has a 1.4, 1.5 billion population, of which almost people who have mobile phones with internet connection and smartphones or any form of internet that they can actually access to is easily anywhere between 700 to 800 million, right? So that's the TAM for any internet innovator to kind of go after. For you to have this TAM in any other country, it is going to be super hard. You'll have to address the whole of US, whole of Europe, whole of Australia, New Zealand, South America, all put together, we'll still look at a TAM of 400 or 500 million. Right? So that's the speciality of India, where the actual India, forget about the metro cities, even look at the villages, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities. We have internet, good quality internet available. So that was the first factor. The second factor was, how do we actually use this for a good purpose? That's when the NPCI as an org came up with something called UPI. I'm sure like all of you are using UPI like your daily driver today. From flour to fruit to vegetables to groceries to buying electronic items, we use UPI for everything, right? So that is exactly what democratization of payment means. So with these two aspects, what we also started doing is we started looking at businesses. How do we actually get good quality financial services accessible to businesses? That's when the whole infrastructure layer became important, and that's where we play a big part as well. So today, the third aspect was the government, since they took a digital-first kind of initiative, they tried to push the direct benefit transfer using the digital payment rails. So all of you would be using a LPG gas cylinder at home. Many of you would have, or at least your drivers and your people who work for you will be going to a ration shop and buying, groceries. Now, all of these are benefits that the government wants to give. Like the state government, of course, has a lot of beautiful policies. There are students who actually have education-based subsidies available. So now all of these are digitally delivered, right? So this, over the last 6-7 years, it has actually gone on to a stage where we are now the largest, transacting base in the whole world. We do 20 billion transactions in a month, which is like at least 2x of the global scale that Visa, MasterCard, and every other American company kind of achieved over the last 60, 70 years, right? So with deep thinking, government backing digital infrastructure, and innovators coming together, this is what is possible, right? And I'm not going to preach the choir on how to do it, but I'll probably take a moment on what we as innovators can do together. So the good part is now that the state wants, there is a beautiful, target of hitting $1 trillion, making Tamil Nadu $1 trillion economy very soon, right? It is quite possible. I would say it is always good to have such a tall target. If India is a $4 trillion economy today, if Tamil Nadu as one out of the 30 states wants to become $1 trillion economy, which means we'll have to think at least 10x the scale from where we are today, which is possible. 3 factors which has to come together for making this possible. One, entrepreneurship has to be seen as a mainstream option for any student out there, right? Today, if you go to any parent and say your kid, after passing out of college, he or she wants to start up in the specific domain that they have educated upon, they'll be worried, right? Parents are still happy to have their kids go into a job, learn or at least earn stable money. I would say entrepreneurship is good. We should allow the kids to kind of try out new things. And it is always like innovation happens only when there is not much pressure from the family. And there is enough money to be made as well. If there are ideas that are good, there are enough investors. I'm sure the Tamil Nadu startup team plus the government bodies across India, they have beautiful programs to incubate innovators like this to come and participate in the ecosystem and build for the ecosystem. The third thing is, with the advent of AI, we are moving from a fintech to a fin AI company ourselves, where the trinity of hardware, software plus AI is coming together. Which means what we can actually do is Forget about the regulated industry like banking. How can we actually innovate on customer service, operations, accounting, settlement, finance? All of these are now possible using AI, where each of you can actually sit in your desk, wipe code, and actually build a product, which is possible today. So I would recommend every student out there, every innovator out there who has ideas, now is the time for you to put these ideas to put the pen on paper and kind of start building, put out the product out in the market, and that is going to be accepted by a lot many people, right? So we have Mr. Wembu in the audience, we have several innovators in the audience. Imagine what they have done. It took 30 years for them to build almost a $2 billion revenue business, right? I think if innovators of this era starts to think big, like how Zoho and Freshworks and several other companies did, I think you can attain the same kind of scale if you put in the perseverance and actual hard work in about 10 years time maybe, or even 5 years. That is possible mainly because of AI. And the other aspect that I wanted to kind of allude to is most companies out there, there are several founders out there, we should actually promote entrepreneurship. We should actually look at how can we have the staff who work for us think of building something and probably become a founder themselves, right? It is very important why we have a program called Moonlight. We also have a program called Better Half. The Better Half program is specifically for women out there. We can't ignore the 50% of the population or even 50% plus population in our mix. We have to allow them, because of marriage, childbirth, or whatever reason, they may get into a career break. If you're a woman who have a career-oriented mindset, you want to join the full-time workforce, you can start with a half-day course with M2P. And there are several companies. Zoho has something called Marubadi. There are several large companies which are now welcoming women back into the workforce. So I sincerely urge the women out there to show your Mahila Shakti and build for the future. And of course, moonlighting and other moonlighting and the other concepts have to be made like a state-driven and state-sponsored kind of an initiative, where whoever has an idea, if they want to kind of try and explore, there are beautiful policies and programs. Let's take, for instance, IIT Madras. They have something called as Research Park. If you have a beautiful idea and you want to kind of join hands with somebody who's an IIT alumni, you can always go and try and explore, right? So that's, I mean, in a nutshell, I know we are running out of time. In a nutshell, what I wanted to kind of say is Tamil Nadu is in an inflection point where we have the best of talent, age on our side, internet connectivity, the state and the central infrastructure is like beautiful. So all innovators and people who have ideas, there is no reason that prohibits you from not innovating, right? So I leave all of you with this simple point that when somebody asked a senior executive in RBI, they mentioned that if we allow certain things to be monetized, say for instance UPI is free today, if we allow certain things to be monetized, you will, instead of driving a Mercedes C-Class, you will be driving an S-Class. But if we allow a vegetable seller to collect payments digitally, which allows them to take good quality financial services instead of going for a Kandu Vaddi and Meter Vaddi, can they get a 10,000 rupee loan free of cost with it delivered digitally? That is exactly what democratizing payments means, or democratizing banking means. So all of us have great ideas. Let's bring it all together and help achieve our goal of being a $1 trillion economy in the next few years. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Have a good one.